Hey Yankees fans, let's dive into the latest moves and rumors surrounding the team, because there's a lot happening that's shaping the roster for the upcoming season. After the signing of Cody Bellinger, a huge number of fans were hoping the Yankees would shift their focus to bolstering the starting rotation with a big-name pitcher. Names like Freddie Peralta and Mackenzie Gore were being thrown around, sparking discussions about what it would take to bring that talent to New York. However, things didn't exactly go as some had anticipated. Freddie Peralta, who was a target for many, ended up being traded to the Mets in exchange for Brandon Spurrow and Jet Williams. That move surprised a few people, mainly because it seemed like the Yankees had the capacity to negotiate for him, but realistically, pulling off a deal like that would have required giving up key prospects that the front office was understandably unwilling to move. The truth is, a trade for Peralta would have meant sacrificing significant assets, possibly George Lombard Jr. among others, and turning him into a short-term rental just didn't make sense from a strategic perspective. Even with the potential upside Peralta offered, the Yankees decided it was smarter to maintain the core of their farm system rather than overextend for a single season of pitching. On top of that, the Mets had to work out additional pieces to make their deal happen, which shows just how complex and expensive acquiring him would have been. While some fans were disappointed, the reality is that sometimes not making a trade is the smarter move. As for Mackenzie Gore, he's another pitcher who generated a lot of buzz. Fans were excited about the possibility of the Yankees acquiring him, given his upside as a left-handed starter. Yet, the Rangers ultimately traded Gore to Washington, moving multiple prospects including their high draft picks. It became clear that the Yankees were not prepared to give up that level of talent, which would have been excessive and disruptive for the organization. Gore is a pitcher I like, and I understand why the hype existed, but the Yankees front office had to weigh the cost against the benefit. Trading for him would have been a monumental price to pay, one that wasn't justified given the current roster composition and strategic plans. In terms of pivoting to other options, Joe Ryan has come up as a name that makes some sense. Ryan had a strong season in San Diego, posting solid numbers with a low earned run average and high strikeout totals. And he's 32 years old. While taking on his salary would be part of the equation, he represents a potential option that doesn't require trading an entire farm system, like you would for Peralta or Gore. Still, the question remains, what would it take to acquire him now? Age and performance create variables that make any deal less straightforward, but theoretically, a player like Ryan could be a manageable addition if the Yankees are looking to strengthen their rotation without giving up top-tier prospects. Looking at the numbers and the trades the Mets and Rangers executed, it's clear that the bar is high for acquiring starting pitching these days. The Yankees would likely need to move multiple significant pieces to land a pitcher of comparable value. That might not be a realistic path at this point. For many fans, this leads to the perception that the Yankees are essentially rolling forward with the same core team, and while there's continuity in that approach, it doesn't eliminate all concerns. For example, the third base situation with McMahon is still a question mark. Defensively, he's solid, but his offensive output leaves room for improvement. The shortstop position remains uncertain as well, even with players like Javier who show promise, and the return of Volpe may not fully answer the team's needs. Then there's the matter of the outfield. With Cody Bellinger taking center stage, players like Gisham are expected to fill key roles. But consistency is always a question. Gisham could have a down year, and that's a scenario fans worry about. The Yankees also have Austin Wells and Ben Rice, who both have potential to grow offensively. Rice, in particular, had a standout season and could continue to take steps forward, potentially elevating the lineup further. Even if he maintains the level of performance he demonstrated last year, it's a solid foundation. The bigger concern is figuring out how to replace the production lost with players who have moved on or are taking on new roles. There are also whispers of position experiments within the roster. Some insiders suggest that a player may be learning a new position, which could reshape the team dynamic and open up opportunities. While it's unclear who the player is, speculation naturally leads to names like Spencer Jones or Dominguez. The idea of moving a player to first base or trying them in a new role to maintain offensive balance makes strategic sense, especially if the Yankees are trying to replace at-bats from departing players. Dominguez, for example, struggled in the outfield, but has shown power against right-handed pitching, so there's potential if he's used differently. Bellinger moving to first or Jones taking over a corner outfield spot could also be part of that puzzle. Another layer is the financial structure of Cody Bellinger's contract. His deal is front-loaded, paying him significant sums in the first 2 seasons with an opt-out option that gives the Yankees some flexibility while ensuring they secured a high-impact player. It also illustrates how much the team valued him, balancing short-term costs with long-term potential for fans. It's exciting to see big-name signings, but it also highlights the challenge the front office faces in building around a high-priced player without sacrificing too much elsewhere in the end. The Yankees are navigating a complex mix of roster management, financial considerations, and player development. Decisions around the rotation, infield, and outfield all require balancing potential, performance, and resources. Some moves have already been made, and others are still under discussion, leaving fans speculating about what the final configuration will look like, whether it's evaluating trade targets, reassigning positions, or integrating new players into the lineup. The front office is making calculated choices that aim to maximize the team's chances without overextending the farm system or payroll. Continuing with the Yankees' off-season outlook, one of the biggest questions is how the team will address depth and versatility. The pitching rotation, as mentioned, remains a topic of heavy discussion. With Freddie Peralta and Mackenzie Gore off the board, the realistic options for acquiring a frontline starter are limited. The Yankees could pursue Joe Ryan, but even that requires careful consideration. While Ryan has proven effective, the combination of age, salary, and what it would take to acquire him makes it a complicated decision. Fans often focus on the most high-profile names, but the reality is that building a balanced rotation involves weighing the potential return against the cost to the farm system and payroll. There's also the matter of how the team balances youth and experience. Players like Ben Rice and Austin Wells are expected to contribute more this season, potentially filling gaps left by departures or position shifts. Rice's breakout performance last year was a bright spot, demonstrating that even in a lineup anchored by stars like Bellinger and Judge, emerging talent can have a significant impact. Wells is another player to watch, as his continued development could give the Yankees the kind of internal depth that allows for more strategic trades or acquisitions later in the season. These younger players are not just prospects. They represent opportunities to reinforce the roster without heavily impacting payroll. In the infield, questions remain about positional fit and offensive output. McMahon at third base continues to raise eyebrows because, while defensively reliable, his offensive production is below the level the Yankees ideally want at that position. Shortstop is still unsettled, even with Javier showing potential, and Volpe's eventual return adds another layer of uncertainty. The front office must decide whether to prioritize defensive consistency or offensive upside, or attempt to strike a balance that maximizes both. Position flexibility could be a key factor here, with players learning new roles to cover gaps. That experimental approach is risky, but could pay off if it allows the Yankees to maintain a competitive lineup while keeping trade options open. Outfield depth is another major consideration. With Cody Bellinger signed to a front-loaded contract and taking on a key role, the Yankees need reliable complements. Gisham's performance remains a variable, as consistency has been an issue, and the team will rely on him to deliver in center field. Dominguez, who struggled defensively last season, presents an interesting case. While his outfield defense was inconsistent, his offensive numbers, especially against right-handed pitching, suggest he could still play a role if utilized creatively. Moving him to a new position could unlock value, while also addressing the need to replace at-bats left by departing players. Likewise, Spencer Jones may see time in different roles, giving the team flexibility and providing younger players with opportunities to grow at the major league level. The Yankees are also carefully weighing financial commitments. Bellinger's deal is structured to pay him a significant sum in the first 2 seasons with an opt-out, giving both the team and the player flexibility. It's a high investment, but one that signals the team's intent to compete at the highest level immediately. Managing that financial commitment alongside other potential signings or trades requires precision. The front office must consider both the short-term impact on payroll and the long-term strategic flexibility of the roster. Overspending in one area could limit options elsewhere, so every move must be calculated. Then there's the larger question of the Yankees' approach to free agency. Some fans hope for another big signing to address rotation needs or add offensive firepower. However, realistically, The team is limited in terms of available talent and the cost of acquiring top-tier free agents. Many of the most desirable pitchers are either signed or demand deals. That would significantly impact payroll. This leaves the Yankees with tough decisions. Do they pursue lower-cost alternatives, invest in internal development, or focus on trades that may require sacrificing prospects? It's a delicate balancing act, and each choice has consequences for roster construction, chemistry, and long-term competitiveness. Looking at the broader roster, the Yankees have several players who are positioned to take the next step. Ben Rice, Austin Wells, and other young contributors could emerge as key offensive and defensive pieces. These players are expected to take on more responsibility, which could offset some of the uncertainty surrounding trades or free agent signings. Developing internal talent is always a priority, but it also comes with risks, as younger players can be inconsistent and may need time to adjust to major league pitching and pressure situations. The Yankees' ability to integrate these players effectively will be crucial to sustaining competitive performance throughout the season. The team's infield situation continues to require attention. Replacing the at-bats lost from players like Paul Goldman is critical, especially if internal options are limited. Players who can shift positions or contribute in multiple roles will be especially valuable. Moving Bellinger to first base, utilizing Dominguez or Jones in corner outfield spots, and relying on Gisham in center are all potential strategies. The Yankees' flexibility in positioning players will likely determine how well they can balance offense and defense while managing playing time for younger talents. There is also an element of experimentation with positional changes. If a player is learning a new position, it could reshape the team dynamic and provide opportunities for others. While moving someone like Dominguez to a different role may sound risky given his past struggles, it could unlock offensive potential while addressing roster needs. Position experimentation is never without risk, especially when dealing with players who have limited experience at a certain spot. But the Yankees may see this as necessary to maintain depth and maximize production. Financial and strategic considerations are intertwined with these personnel decisions. Bellinger's front-loaded contract allows the Yankees to secure an elite player while managing long-term payroll implications. Similarly, any moves involving trades or acquisitions must consider both immediate performance and future flexibility. The balance between cost, talent, and development is delicate, and the Yankees must weigh each decision carefully. Overcommitting in one area could limit options elsewhere, so strategic prudence is key. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. In a move that has sent shockwaves through Major League Baseball circles, whispers are growing that the New York Yankees could be on the verge of shaking up their pitching rotation in a way fans haven't seen in years. Sources close to the organization suggest that the team is targeting none other than Ranger Suárez, a hard-throwing right-hander whose precision and poise on the mound have quietly made him one of the most coveted arms in the league. While the Yankees have always been aggressive in pursuing pitching talent, this potential acquisition signals a level of ambition that could redefine the team's approach to its rotation. Suárez, known for his ability to neutralize both lefties and righties with a combination of sharp breaking balls and a fastball that hovers in the upper 90s, would immediately provide a stabilizing force to a rotation that has flirted with inconsistency in recent seasons. Insiders hint that the Yankees front office has been quietly circling Suárez for months, impressed not only by his statistical output, but also by his reputation as a workhorse who thrives under pressure. If the rumors are true, his presence in the rotation could elevate the team's pitching staff to elite levels, creating a nightmare scenario for opposing hitters who now have to navigate a lineup stacked with offensive firepower while facing a rejuvenated Yankees mound. The buzz around Suárez has ignited speculation about the domino effect this move could trigger. Analysts are already debating which veteran starters might see their roles redefined, and how this potential signing could influence the Yankees' long-term strategy. Could this be the beginning of a full-scale pitching overhaul? Some insiders suggest that acquiring Suárez would not only strengthen the rotation immediately but also send a clear message to the rest of the league. The Yankees are serious about dominating from the mound as much as they are with the bat. Fans are buzzing in forums and on social media, imagining Suárez stepping onto the mound in pinstripes, taking command with the kind of authority that defines championship-caliber teams, while nothing is official. The mere suggestion of Ranger Suárez joining the Yankees has sparked a flurry of debate, hope, and speculation. Baseball pundits are cautiously optimistic, noting that if the deal comes to fruition, it could mark one of the most impactful pitching moves the franchise has attempted in recent memory. For now, all eyes remain on the Yankees' front office, waiting to see if whispers turn into reality, and whether Suárez will become the centerpiece of a rotation poised to dominate like never before. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.